Hello, welcome everyone to the A Link to the Past Randomizer Cross Keys Tournament, Round 1 versus Gus and oneup. I'm joined today by Recitador.
Hello everybody, how are you doing today? My name is Recitador. We are joining Gus and oneup40 today in their winners bracket round 1 race. Oneup is seed number 55. Yeah, seed number 55. Gus is seed number 74. Winner of this race moves on to the next round, and the loser goes to the loser's bracket. And this is another edition of Crossworld Keysanity Insurance. And right away, we get a fire rod in Link's house, which is very nice. For those that are not familiar, Crossworld's insurance randomizer randomizes insurances all around the world. Anything can be anywhere, and there are various connectors that can take you between light and dark world. And Keysanity just means keys as well as items that are mixed up in the world. So far we see Sanctuary in Kakariko, which is very nice, saves the walk to town. We have Mini Moldorm Cave in the Lumberjack House. They don't have any resources to take that on, but as soon as they get some bombs, I imagine they'll go back there. That is 5 items sitting there for the taking. It's interesting to note that neither runner Houlihan, which is a kind of a route that a lot of people tend to take because it's allows you to get some money for things like buying bombs, getting the bottle vendor in town, which is one of the items that is immediately in logic. No matter what, the logic does not take into account having to farm for money. It just assumes that you'll have money at any given time. And we do see a hint NPC there that both runners actually skipped. There are hints in the game. There are 5 storytellers that give you hints, as well as all of the hint tiles in the various dungeons. So, actually, neither one has rupees, so that would be one reason for them to skip that. So far, we have seen not too much besides that connector. We did have one connector that's not widely recognized as a connector when people first started, the East Death Mountain Ferry connector. Right, and again, neither runner has any money, so they can't buy bombs. They can't buy the bottle vendor item. Looks like Lumberjack up in the well with a key that they're going to want to grab. We have Aghanim's Tower in Kakariko. And we have a Castle Tower key right next to Kakariko. So anytime you see Aga Tower that early and also an Aghanim's Tower key, that gets you to start thinking about whether you might have to defeat Aghanim for some reason. The Lumberjack tree is one of the drops that things are mixed into, and it can have items in it that do require you to defeat Aghanim to get to that. There are quite a number of steps away from being able to do that, but that's going to be something that's going to be on their minds, I would imagine. Now, once they we've got another hint NPC, but again, they don't have any money to check that, so they have to abandon that for now. Really not much to start the Mountain Kakariko. Oh, we got Hype Cave, that's 5 items. They don't have any money or resources to actually take on some of these item caves, so... Oh, we got a free Moon Pearl today, that's pretty nice. That might encourage them to check connectors a little quicker than they would normally. A lot of the times you do not get an early Moon Pearl, and you have to weigh whether you want to check all the entrances in the area or take a connector, which could put you in the Dark World and be where you would be unable to do. We find the bottom of Spiral Cave at the fortune teller above Kakariko. There's an item there if they can find the front end of that. And in the Lost Woods drop, we're going to find the magic bat. They don't have the powder for that, so can't do anything with that, right? Looks like Data's trying to, or Data, sorry, oneup is trying to set up for a tree pull. He has to kill an enemy to get his first tree pull activated. Bush Crab's having small magic that's semi-helpful with that fire rod, which oneup actually doesn't have yet, so he doesn't know that he's going to get. And here comes the moment of truth, seeing what's in this lumberjack well. This will tell the tale of whether they may have to do Aghanim. Nope, that is the fairy drop, so they should have no reason to do Aghanim for that, at least. It is still conceivable that Aghanim 1 would be their access to East Dark World, but that is fairly rare. It's more normal to have to do Aghanim 1 to get to an item than it is to get access to the West Dark. We've got a shovel on the torch, and we've got a small key to GT and Spike Cave, so depending on how available those are, they may not actually want to do that. They may never have to go in there. Meanwhile, the one free chest in Desert is a bottle. That'll be handy when Sitkid comes. And with that Moon Pearl, oneup is going to go ahead and check one of these other exits of Desert to see where it goes. Alright, well, we found our way to the Dark World. Looks like Gus is coming right behind him. May do the same stuff here. That's actually access to the West Dark World, which is pretty good. There's a lot of entrances over there he could be checking. He's going to go ahead and check this right side as well and see where that goes. Looks like Gus is actually going to take a death warp and leave out of here and go somewhere else. Meanwhile, right side of Desert actually goes up to the East Death Mountain. So that is 3 immediate entrance checks, where we find yet another connector. Alright, sorry, bear with me. I'm trying to keep track of the entrances as well. So, Gus actually taking the time to walk up to the Sanctuary, which is theoretically glove locked, but it does have the uncle at it today, which means it is not glove locked. So that's one of those things you can run into, avoiding something that you think is locked behind something, but it just has the uncle in it, so you can just walk right in. Meanwhile, oneup is almost done over here. On this side, he found a dark cave. He has found 2 connectors to the West Dark World. He looks like he's about to maybe check the castle drop and the well, he hasn't grabbed this chest either. So this will be his fire rod. Meanwhile, Gus is going to check one of our last drops, possibly Houlihan after this. We'll see. And it is the Kakariko well, so that's another 5 items that everyone will want to get. Alright, oneup checking and finding the smiths right next to his house, while Gus finds a book in the well. Doesn't do much for him. He can check the pedestal. He can also open 1 entrance in Desert. And we have a Palace of Darkness small key. There are 6 of those, so we'll be seeing more of those, I would imagine. We have the big chest of Turtle Rock at the Lake Hylia shop. They can't do anything in there logically from that entrance, but they could do an easy bomb jump to get in there and check an item if they wanted to. And we did see Gus go ahead and Houlihan to get some money. So far, they haven't really found any money whatsoever, so this will be a big help for doing a couple things. OneUp's going to check the eastern area. This is kind of a standard play if you haven't found a glove yet, as an area of the light world to check. And we find Meyer, which she can't get into, so we're going to skip out of that for now. Meanwhile, Gus is going to check this last drop here, and this is going to lead to the Thief, which is going to leave Ganon? Is it Vanilla Ganon? I think it is. That is somewhat unfortunate, but it can be a good thing because that means you don't ever have to question whether you're going to climb GT. You just know you're going. Alright, OneUp's got one more entrance over here. I think Gus is going to go ahead and check Mini Mold Arm Cave, which I think is a great idea. That's 5 items that he can get a hold of. Or he is going to walk right by Mini Mold Arm Cave and go somewhere else. Finding a dark cave there. We found a great bomb supply cave. Unfortunately, it's in the farthest corner of the light world, so not very helpful there. And Gus is going to go and get that bottle vendor item, which is just... Gus is going to take the fire rod to Aghanim's tower, and he will probably try to get both the items since he has the key. With the fire rod, the second item... the second dark room is somewhat easy to deal with. You can just kind of move down a little bit and light one of the torches, and then you can just see where you're going. But OneUp is going to check these 5 items right here first, which I think is a great idea. You don't ever want to leave a 5-item cave too long. We've got powder, we know where the bat is, and another bottle with a red potion in it. Gus unfortunately missed the torch in the second room, so takes a death there instead of getting that item, but that's a pretty accessible entrance, so I would imagine they'll try that again at some point. OneUp's going to go south, check this cave right below Link's house, which is going to just be a fairy, just like normal. Could be vanilla, could be one of the other mini fairies in the game. Oh, and Gus threw a bomb there, and that mini Moldworm just ninja'd right over to the right and said, nope, not today. It can be a little tricky getting these guys with bombs, but if you kind of just hold your bomb until it's about to blow and kind of time your throws, it gets a little easier. OneUp has found the well, and I don't think he went into it for some reason. Am I crazy, or did he just skip the well? Okay, meanwhile, Gus is gonna go south. Yeah, I don't have any idea why he would do that. All he needs is a bomb, and he's got a bomb. There's 3 buildings down here to the south. First one is just junk. Second one, more junk. Oh, we find a stun prize of 20 rupees. That's pretty nice. Small key at race game, so that's going to be on their minds for later. So, if he doesn't need the... What else was in there? There was a book and there was a small key of some kind, right? A Palace of Darkness key? Okay, he's going back. I don't know... Really don't know why he skipped that. Maybe because he wanted a Houlihan, and he just didn't want to, and he wanted to check the sanctuary as well? That would be my guess, because I don't understand otherwise. Maybe have to ask him that later. Alright, gonna get his book, and I think it was a Palace of Darkness key, maybe? Yeah. Gus is gonna go south, but he's also gonna check the dam for us, looks like. Okay, yeah, he's hula-handing, so he must have been, just not wanting to isolate the sanctuary entrance, I guess. We found the back of desert at the dam. Can't do anything with that just yet, but we will know where to go later. And oneup is going to go north and get that last drop and get the news that Ganon is vanilla today. Meanwhile, Gus actually found the front end of Spiral Cave. We know that the back end of that lets out into town. He doesn't really have, I mean, anything that, he only has 2 bombs, so he would have to, like, not get hit at all in there, or it would be a little dangerous. But now he's got some boots, which is really great. And he had to go all the way to the corner of the light world to find them, which is not something you tend to want to walk to do until you have to. But yeah, he did have the books, so he was coming over here to use that to get into the entrance over here. Early boots always feels nice. It would feel nicer with a sword, because dashing without a sword is very dangerous. You tend to run into things and take damage. We do have Hookshot Cave, though. And with these boots that he just so happened to find right next to Hookshot Cave, you can, in fact, get 1 item in the logic in the Hookshot Cave. Luckily, he had just enough bombs to get the 2 entrances open to get this. Meanwhile, oneup has found back of desert. He also has the books, so I assume he's going to do what Gus is doing right now. The bonkable chest in Hookshot Cave did not have anything of interest in it. Oh, we found our way to Skullwoods. Alright, yeah. Oneup is not going to cut off his route for Spiral Cave just yet, and he's going to be glad that he did not. Alright, so far this is looking a little bit like it could potentially be a cutoff situation. Oh wait, no it's not actually, because he came out of the back of Skullwoods, so this is definitely a Skullwoods he can get out of. Demonstrating one of the few nice uses of the boomerang that you don't get to see. It comes in handy in the early game if you end up in Skullwoods, though. It does stun the mummies. Oneup's got his boots, he gets to go fast now. And Gus also showing off a not well-known resource over here, a full magic drop in this wall over here. And it looks like oneup is going to be right behind Gus, about to come out of Skullwoods himself. Gus is taking the brave decision to walk out of this entrance with only half a heart. Okay, never mind. He's going to go back into Death World. This is not a great place to take an overworld death, so good on him for going back in there. So we don't have the big key, so that's going to be 1 chest they're going to isolate in here, but considering the way their route went, it's not really anything that can help right now. And I would trade off getting the boots early for isolating the Skullwoods big chest any. So far they don't have a huge amount of progression, but they do have quite a bit of entrances still open to them that they have not checked. And a couple of connectors also that they have not fully explored. So they really do have a lot of options still on the table. We still have at some point they're going to hope that they find a way to East Dark World with a connector, because otherwise, they're looking at possible Aghanim access over there. However, with these boots, it is very sequence breakable if that does come down to it. You can set up a very easy water walk outside of Skull Woods to counteract that possibility. All right, so Gus is done in Skull Woods. He's going to go north out of it over here. There's one entrance up here that's kind of isolated, and it is Palace of Darkness today. We do have one key. We can, in fact, get 3 items in the logic, and they do have a bottle with a potion, so if they want a potion glitch, they can get 2 items outside of the logic. Potion glitch is fairly easy to pull off. I'm kind of inconsistent with it myself, but I'm sure anybody that's actually spent some time practicing it, it's not too hard to get. Meanwhile, the first item in Palace of Darkness was actually a vanilla key, so we could actually get 3 more items. However, with only 1 more key, they would not yet be in logic. But key logic is one of those things you keep in mind while also just ignoring as much as possible. Alright, so one of our 2 in-logic checks. We've got another freaking key to pod. Wow. Okay, so suddenly these next 3 checks are totally in logic, and it's... well, actually, without the lamp, only 1 of them is in logic, but the other 2 are very easy to do. It's a very simple dark room back there. I don't know if Gus knows the, I don't know if Gus knows the hammer jump. He could theoretically get a couple more items out of logic if he wanted to. He did use his key, so it seems to get the 1 single item. So it seems possible that he knows that he was good at hammering up. Also, the fire rod making this dark basement room even freer than it normally is. Just a bit of junk back here, though. We see oneup, who I would definitely say is going to do the potion glitch here. Misery Mire leads to a connector, so that means that the mitts are less likely to be needed for mire access in that case. Unfortunately, oneup has failed the potion glitch. I don't know if he has anything else in his other bottle. I don't think he does. Yeah, he's just gonna go in the back. Alright. Oh, Gus had that hammer up, it looked like, and then he just slid right off. Also, with very little equipment, this dark maze can be tricky, so we'll see how much progress he can make in there at that point. We're going to get the drop-down chest from oneup. We did not see this on Gus's end yet. Just a compass, so that's not the answer that we're looking for. Okay, got it that time. So now we're going to see... Okay, he's going to use the B to kill the Dodongos, it looks like. And he's going to try to use a little navigation with the boomerang here and the boots. Gets a small desert key for his trouble. Let's see. I really can't tell where he's at. I think he's making progress to the chest. And yep, just 20 rupees. Nicely done putting that B to good use and making it through that maze with the little difficulty. Yeah, he did skip the drop-down chest, which is not actually going to hurt him, but it's a... Oh, I think he remembered. He's going back. Meanwhile, oneup's going to go ahead and collect all this money, because he may be thinking of making a Zora play. And Gus also remembering that you can farm some bombs. Alright, so we checked all of the logical chests in Palace of Darkness. Still did not find anything, unfortunately. And it looks like oneup is not going to hammer Yump or use his key. Or, yeah, okay, I was going to say, or he's setting up for a save scum, but no, it looks like he's just going to peace out for now. I'm not sure if oneup knows the hammer Yump. Maybe he might not. He does have plenty of other checks right now, though. So we'll have to see what the Desert Small Key leads to see if that's going to affect him any. Alright, Dark Sanctuary. Today is Hyrule Castle. So Sanctuary is locked behind the hammer. The back of escape is. You could key still here. I don't know if I really would in this situation. Given that usually the hammer, getting hammer access to that isn't that bad. There's one check here in logic. There is another two that are not in logic until you get the Hyrule Castle small key. But again, that's one of those things that you think of while also not paying any attention to. He could also go to the back and try to get the Dark Cross chest. Without a sword, just dashing through there can be a little hazardous to your health, especially in the Dark World. I don't know that I would try that right now. The Fire Rod generally makes it a free check, but usually that's if you have like a sword or something like that. Alright, one more chest left in here so far. Nothing good. Gus is right on his heel. It's actually a lot of sync going on right now, considering these guys have kind of been following each other for the last like 10 or 15 minutes, it seems. Alright, Hyrule Castle is pretty much a bust. We're going to start our slow process of death warping since we have not found the mirror yet. Gus is going to set up a slightly faster death warp over here with the ball and chain guard. So they have the choice here of checking the connectors or just continuing on their path. They run the risk of getting cut off if they check the connectors, but it's not too hard to get back to where they are. So oneup is going to go ahead and check. We found our way back to the mountain. He's already been up there, so he doesn't care about that. But looks like Gus does not want to run the risk of getting cut off. He's actually going to go find this connector that we've already seen, which also goes up to the mountain, where oneup just was. We'll see if he decides to go through it. He is going to do it. Alright. Oh, looks like we found the other side of Hyrule Castle goes to the west side of Death Mountain, which is a great find. That's a lot of entrances available. Alright, sorry, just trying to make sure I have the tracker marked as much as possible. Crap, I missed what he got in that chest, but it didn't look like anything. So Gus did not actually check these desert connectors earlier, so it's fortunate for him that he found his way to where that side of the mountain was. Meanwhile, oneup pulled off a nice little rescue of the old man without the lamp. Gets a Turtle Rock small key for his trouble. He's found Super Bunny Cave up here as well, but he's not going through it yet. He's trying to check, clear the mountain entrances first, because that is a one-way trip. We found Hera with an immediate big key payoff over here. To Hera. Okay, well this is both good and bad, because it's 2 extra chests, but they don't have any means of killing Moldorm, so you might have to climb this twice. However, you might also be required to climb this twice. And I think that just said that Turtle Rock Main was the chest minigame. But it flashed on the screen pretty quick, so I didn't quite catch it. No, the one that it said, if I read it correctly, is the one that you pay 30 rupees for an item, so that could actually be required. Assuming that I read that correctly in the very brief time that I saw it. We'll see if Gus finds his way there and we can check that out. We got a small key to GT. Looks like south of Grove is one portion of Turtle Rock. The other ones are just referred to as games of chance only. They don't have any special. They don't have a special designation like. All right, we found a hint on Gus's side near the village of Outcasts. Meanwhile, the big chest of Hera has the big key of Swamp Palace. Now, again, we don't know if it was actually necessary to do this climb in order to get a weapon to kill Moldorm, but it is entirely possible that it was. It has been known to be logically required to take a double climb of Hera just to get a weapon to kill a Moldorm. We found the dam in Village of Outcasts. That's a nice find. Once you drain the water here, the water stays permanently drained, which gets you a free item down by the south shore, by the dam. And we find Eastern, which is 3 logical checks, and a 4th one you can sequence break if you don't care about dark rooms. Looks like another small key to Palace of Darkness. We're really getting a lot of those. And we find Blind's Hut in Village of Outcasts. That's 5 items right now. So this is a good find. Anytime you find something with a lot of chests in it, you're pretty happy to see it. Half magic. Not much else. I missed what was that in that chest on oneup side, but it didn't look like anything. Okay, so nothing but half magic in there, but I'd call that kind of worth. Oneup got a compass. Alright, thank you very much. Trackers. Silver arrows, can't use those yet, but it's always nice to have those found and off your mind. Small key to... Okay, crap, that was 2 hints at once, and I missed... I missed the payoff to both of those. There's a small key to Mire somewhere, and also the Light World Bumper Ledge is something. I totally missed the payoff to both of those hints. It's a little hard when both runners are reading a hint at the same time. Okay, so we see a Mire small key in Ganon's castle. I don't know if somebody caught what the Light World Bumper Ledge is. oneup making his way through the dark part of Eastern. This is a fairly simple room. We have got the one of the small keys to Turtle Rock over in the digging gate. Alright, I had to refresh, so I kind of missed what that was. It's Stumpy. It looked like a key of some kind. We have Eastern Palace, which is the big key chest in Eastern Palace turned out to be. Compass to Eastern Palace. Okay. Alright, we've got Bumper Ledge at the bomb shop. They cannot get through that just yet. Meanwhile, oneup should be about done clearing up the mountain. They're almost out of entrances, I think. Oh, Paradox Cave, another very nice find on Gus's side. Now that he's cleaned the mountain out, oneup is going to go through Super Bunny Cave. Again, this is a one-way trip, so he saved this for last. So far, Paradox Cave has not been too exciting. Ooh, that's unfortunate. Both bombs missing all of the mini Moldorms. And then that fire rod shot, just comboing both of them. Okay, we got Bombos on one side, Small Key to Ice Palace on the other, a glove on oneup side, a cane, and a glove on Gus's side. Okay, so both runners found a glove in totally different spots. Also, Gus found the cane in Paradox Cave. That was pretty good stuff right there. So mitts are super available right now. Looks like oneup is going to immediately turn those gloves in to a South Shore check. Meanwhile, Gus had 2 more entrances down here he could check. We've got Ice Palace in Hype Cave. With a small key to Tower of Hera can be found with a Sick Kid. So once we find Sick Kid, we know what he's going to give us. We do know where Hera is, so we could get that item at any time. Oneup's going to go ahead and check Spiral Cave now, since he's down this way. Just a heart container on his side. Spiral Cave with also a heart container. So I'm not 100%. Did oneup check the or did Gus check the bonk rocks? Oh, Gus is actually going to dive Ice Palace. That's interesting. He does have logical access to a number of chests in here. Won't be able to get a couple on the right side because of no hammer, and also can't do the boss or the big chest, same reasons. He could also just be diving in here for one chest. It's a kind of an easy chest to get to. We got a magic bat check, which nets us a small key to Thieves Town, which is a nice key to get out of your way. Gus has to be a little careful here, but he's just going to town with his half magic and his fire rod. So I would imagine he's actually not planning on sticking around here. Yeah, he's just gonna save me quick. Does anybody know if he checked the bonk rocks though? I don't know that he did. The one behind the bomb shop. Well, he's checking this one, so I guess he probably remembered the other one. Oh, speaking of bonk rocks, we've got Ganon's Tower in the Light World version. And a sword sitting in the Dark World version, so both good finds. Now the interesting thing is... oh wait, I actually had that reversed, maybe. Wait, where was... No, oneup was at a glove entrance, not a bonk rocks entrance, just kidding. Alright, so Interesting thing is, though, the cane is available, so the right side of GT is pretty accessible. And we found the big key to Palace of Darkness on the torch. The sword that Gus just found, making it a lot nicer to dash. And the interesting thing about that sword is it is just sitting right behind their house, and they could have had that a while. Oh, he got the bow in GT. I didn't even see that. It doesn't do much for him there, but we are getting a lot of checks in pod in Logic now. Or we're starting to get a lot of the pieces for Palace of Darkness. Looks like we're gonna go ahead and check this hint now that we're in the area. Since we got. Alright, so that's just telling us that the Hammer House in Kakariko has a cave with an item in it, so we're gonna want to check that. Looks like he's gonna grab this bottle vendor, which he did not have money for either. We're getting the magic bat check on Gus's side, which was a small key to something. Oh yeah, Thieves Town. We'll see if oneup can get get to the second chest here. Also, I'm curious to see how long it's going to take oneup to check the bonk rocks behind his house to get that sword, because they have had boots again for quite some time. They were kind of playing around in the Dark Worlds. I think that was really the first time they've made it back to the Light World and gotten done with their pathing there. But not having a sword when you're trying to dash around is kind of obnoxious, you know. All right, it looks like all right. oneup is gonna try. Yep, he's got the fire rod out. He got the torch, and he got a heart container for his troubles. All right, and interesting. So oneup has found a GT small key. Gus has not. Now he can get a key from the left side in order to do the right side. Which I would do before doing Tile Room, but he may not actually be thinking about that. He wouldn't be able to go full ride, unfortunately. Looks like he just thought about it, actually. He wouldn't be able to go full right without the key, but when he gets this small key, he can go all the way right into the Ice Armos, which would not be in Logic, but there's no reason to not do it. Okay, we see that there is a small turtle rock key in the Tower of Hera basement. That's probably not worth waiting on. Okay, so turns out he's just going to check the torch and then leave. He could have collected that key from the left side and gone full right, but opted not to do that just yet. I actually missed where oneup came out of that connector. Okay, Gus has not actually checked these houses yet, I don't think, so he's gonna get this info. Oh, and oneup actually hasn't checked below the Kakariko. It's kind of a long time to not check Kakariko stuff. It's the tricky part of routing entrance. You can kind of get yourself into a tangent and kind of end up leaving stuff that's like right next to your spawn points or starting points, and kind of forget. Gus has the cane, so he can go ahead and come into Turtle Rock here and get one item in Logic and one item outside of Logic. If he wanted to use his keys to go forward. He could get 3 more items, not quite in logic, depending on where the front of Turtle Rock is. If the front of Turtle Rock is available, they would be in logic regardless. But if the front of Turtle Rock is unavailable, they would still need 1 more key to go frontward to get those items. However, they already have 2 keys, so they could theoretically waste 1 and still be fine if they could find Laserbird. It might be a little early to do that though. One-Up is getting his sword. Good, he didn't put that on for too long. Gus getting a little bullied by the chain chomps. He is going to go ahead and spend a key. Lake Hylia fortune teller. Oh, okay. Alright, so he's going to go ahead and get these 2 items. We found Mire Shed over wherever the heck One-Up just went to. I missed. Has a big key to Skull Woods, which they already cleared out, but they kind of cleared it out at the expense of having early boots again, so pretty much okay. Okay, that was the mini Moldorm cave. Now we're going to wrap up the Ice Rod area. 3 more checks, 3 more entrances over here. And Gus almost forgetting he doesn't have the hook shot. Finally, or remembering at the last second, and switching directions. Can't do the fast strat in here without that. Alright, looks like the old man save and quit gets you to Ice Rod area, which would have been handy to save running over here, but as of right now is no longer handy to know. It's not really the best of starting points. Fragile Rock has the big heated desert and a shield. Big heated desert seems pretty nice. They can actually go. They've seen the back of desert somewhere, so they can full clear, or they can kill the land mola. I believe that is technically 1 Turtle Rock small key from being in logic yet, depending on where the front of this is. That'll be answered in 1 second though. If this is just accessible entrance, then it's already in. A glove can be found in a connector, which actually is the one that was found in Super Bunny Case. So that's not the one that he. Okay, yeah. So that is an unreachable front of Turtle Rock. So that needs 1 more small Turtle Rock key to be in logic. Is what mirror locked? Ooh, taking an overworld death there that I don't think he meant to, but it's not too hard to get back to. It's not mirror locked. Well, actually, part of Turtle Rock is mirror locked, but that part is on. You can't get to the front of Turtle Rock except by going from the middle. Looks like Gus is gonna go ahead and check the eastern area. I don't think he's been over here yet. Looks like One-Up did a fake flipper. I didn't catch what Hobo had. Ooh, getting a little caught there. Hobo had 50 rupees. Okay, thank you. Ooh, found Skullwoods, which he could theoretically defeat if he was feeling, real skippy. Looks like he is feeling real skippy though. Oh, he took damage though. Yeah, that's gonna mess up your, it's gonna mess up your fake flipper. Meanwhile, Gus has decided to take those boots into Misery Mire. We don't have the big key here, but we do have a fire source, so we can get 6 checks out of 8 checks in. One-Up accidentally wasting his magic to be unable to get that last torch lit. So this being flipper locked is interesting. Yeah, you can use the silvers on the Gibdos, so that would save a little bit of trouble on those guys. He's also stuck. He can't use his fake flipper to water walk to Zora anymore. He's stuck in the waterfall. Alright, Meyer gets us another shield. So he's got, I think, 9 hearts it is, and a fighter sword. So this fight is not gonna be free by any means. Now he's got like 5 hearts and a fighter sword. Came really close to getting grabbed there by the wall master, which can grab you while you're falling in the hole. Alright, so he's basically going to have to be as patient as possible here, but these spikes flying everywhere can be very unavoidable. So far not doing too bad. Doing some nice dodges, getting some nice spins in there, which is not an easy strat to pull off with all this crap flying around you. Very nicely done. And we find that the flute is in the west side of Swamp. And we got a Master Sword in Mire. And there was some variety of small key on Mothula that I didn't totally catch because I was reading the hint on the left side. Mire small. Okay, so not really useful. One-Up's gonna go back in here and get this one chest, and then he is unfortunately stuck in this entrance, and he's gonna have to save and quit. So we are actually a few items away from being able to get that flute out of Mire. Meanwhile, it looks like Gus has found all he can find in Mire and is now going to take a very long and painful death warrant. Alright, so where are the runners going to go next? They still have some options open to them, some connectors and Gus still has a couple entrances to check over here in the eastern area. Looks like One-Up is actually heading that way as well. I think he started to go this way, but he didn't finish. I think he got distracted by something. So, really, I think the mitts are going to come into play here at some point. One-Up's actually going to Mire. He's already seen this. The mitts would get them Smith Chain. Wouldn't necessarily get them a lot else right now. But those mitts are readily available. Right side of GT is looking very interesting as well, although technically not in logic until there's 2 available GT small keys. We do have a couple more glove entrances that we have not checked. And I think maybe a couple of connectors still. Gus is going to do the South Shore check. One-Up didn't find a huge amount over. I did find that one big key to Skull, which is basically like a fetch quest. Okay, so we do have, I don't know, like 3 or 4 chests in Mire or in Ice Palace in Logic. And the both side of Pod. We've got what do we have? We have crap. I was just thinking. We can kill Moldorm now. We do have swords, so that's a thing. I'm actually not sure what connectors they have not checked yet. Now that I'm looking, we do have 2 connectors at a Paradox Cave they could get to, and then with those myths, like I said, they could do the Smith Chain. So there's a few things, and we obviously have the Skullwitz big chest now. Honestly, and I really hate to say it because it's Ice Palace, but one of the better options seems like dipping Ice Palace without the hammer. However, I would also be interested in defeating Moldorm and Land Molas before I did that. Here's another check incoming, the big desert chest, which gives us Quake. So the unfortunate part about the location of Paradox Cave is oneup is going to have to get his way to the Dark World and then run all the way around the Dark World to get to Paradox Cave to get his mitts. Super Bunny was up on the mountain, so I believe that was via one of the exits to Desert, or also this other, yeah, this exit right here. Or no, it was Hyrule Castle, which is in this side of Dark World that Gus is coming out of now. I believe that oneup also skipped 2 entrances on Dark Death Mountain while he was up. So those are also something. Don't think we've seen this entrance right here with this glove in play. Which, waiting to see which runner ends up with mitts first. What was behind that rock? I missed it. It sounded like a dungeon. Looks like we're gonna go ahead and check the bow side while we're at it. And ooh, I think Gus skipped getting this shovel when he was in here, so that could lead to something. If that does in fact lead to something, there is no telling when Gus is going to go back and get that. Oh, it was the other side of Desert. We already knew that. I forgot. And oneup is once again in the same place as Gus. These guys are doing a good job of kind of following the seed here. They're doing a lot of the same. I'm kind of very interested to see what's at the shovel now, since Gus accidentally skipped it. Alright, will Gus go through the Hyrule Castle connectors while he's here? That will lead him to the Myths eventually. I would imagine that 1UP is definitely going to going to be looping the world. We're going to go ahead and get another hammer up here to get this big chest. This looks like it's going to be a little... Okay, that was a little... Alright, so Pod is once again not paying out whatsoever. One Up actually picked up a couple more keys, or at least one more key, because he never used the one. So looks like he might try to check stuff back here. Alright, so Gus is going towards the castle, so I think he may in fact be checking these connectors. I think it's the left one that gets him up on the West Dark Moon. Death Mountain. Nope, it is the right one. I am incorrect. I'm kind of interested that nobody's gone through the Dark Cross chest yet, though. With Fire Rod, that's essentially free. Alright, 1UP getting his key to Desert Palace. That's not really going to get him anything important. And Gus has made his way to West Death Mountain. I don't remember exactly what 1UP found up here, but I don't think it was a huge amount of... he did find Hera with the key. The difference is going to be Gus is going to be able to actually kill Moldorm when he comes in here, or when he finds Hera. So if Moldorm's holding something, that could be good. Alright, 1UP is headed to the back again. I don't know if he took an unintentional death or what. I thought he was death warping, but he may not have been. Where is... What? Where is he going? Did 1UP get the hammer somewhere that I missed? Did 1UP does 1UP have the hammer? One Up does not have the hammer. I don't know what he's doing. I think he may have gotten a little excited and thought he was going to go ahead and finish this dungeon, which is going to be slightly impossible. I don't... Yeah, okay, so we read that right earlier. There is one item in Turtle Rock main. I don't believe Gus got the hint about the Tower of Hera leading to a Turtle Rock small key, so they may actually be inclined to do that chest. Oh wait, no, they don't have the key yet, just kidding. They haven't found Sick Kid yet, so that's not on the table, really. Alright, so I expect 1UP to start looping the world with these boots, which is going to eventually lead him to Myths after he checks a lot of entrances and items. Meanwhile, I think that Gus is going to end up with Myths fairly quickly as well, once he finishes clearing off the mountain. 1UP actually going to check the Skullwoods Big Chest while he's in the area, which is very good to remember, because otherwise you might isolate this for a long time. That was an interesting bomb setup. Did not work, though. Okay, got it that time. Just 10 arrows. Alright, so let's see what Moldarm has that we could not see earlier because we were in here without a weapon. Moldarm has junk and a pendant, so that is not okay. So we are one dungeon each for the runners now. However, one is a pendant, one is a. Alright, Gus finding Eastern. He has the bow, does not have the big key, so still going to be the same amount of checks as One Up was able. They have not checked the pedestal yet because they don't have any real reason to go that way. And they don't have the mirror. They would have to go specifically just to check the pedestal. So, One Up's gonna do his little tour of the world. The main thing he's gonna find from doing this is gonna be the cane in the midst, but he's a ways away from getting to those items because he has to go all the way around to get them. Meanwhile, Gus has to finish cleaning up the mountain entrances and go through Super Bunny Cave if he wants to get his mitt. Which will, of course, again, if he does the same thing One Up does or did, will orphan the two Dark World entrances up here on West Dark Death Mountain. We have not seen those yet. Gus grabbing his silvers. He actually does have the bow, so that's a little. Well, One Up has the bow now, but he didn't have the bow at the time. Okay, so the Light World Bumper Ledge leads to a common shop, which means we do not need the Light World Bumper Ledge. One Up in Blind's Hut, which just gets you half magic and nothing else. So again, we're trying to figure out where the next big thing is, and I'm still stuck with Smith Chain or Ice Palace. We're gonna have to see if One Up decides to dive in Ice Palace when he gets over there. He's gonna be fairly low on checks when he gets down that way, so he may just go for it. It would definitely not be at all weird for the Seed to force a double dip of Ice Palace, because Rando is just like that. Alright, I believe this was a Turtle Rock key in the dig game. Let's see if I remember correctly. Gus is almost done on the mountain. He's got a couple more entrances to check. Yep, Turtle Rock big key, or small key, sorry. Now we know Stumpy didn't really have anything. And I think that most of the entrances over here, other than Ice Palace and Paradox Cave, were just kind of. I kind of don't remember where Super Bunny came out. I'm not sure if I marked. I did not mark it. Alright, so Gus is going to do the same thing that 1UP did. Go through Super Bunny Cave, isolate the 2 Dark World entrances for now. And for his trouble, he's going to get some mitts. It looks like he will be the first runner to get some mitts, even though both the runners got gloves at the same exact time. And 1UP is very close to getting his glove, or his mitts. He's just not quite there. Alright, we have our first set of mitts for the game. Can do a couple of other things with those that we haven't already done. Oh, okay, it came out there, which is a dead end. Alright, so 1UP's got Paradox Cave, and then we'll see if he goes through these connectors or if he just goes back to Ice Palace. Ice Palace is very far out of the way at this point, even with the mitts. So the mitts actually do open up the King's Tomb with these boots. Looks like Gus may be going for right side GT now. He does have that one GT key that Gus, or that 1UP had that he never got before coming here. This is not actually in logic, so this is not technically what you should be doing next according to the game. You need one more small key to get this. However, that one more small key could in fact just be sitting in Ice Palace, so no reason not to go ahead. Alright, we got a cane and we got a mitts on 1UP's side. Now where is he going to go next? We got blue mail and a bunch of crap over there. He actually checked the Paradox exits, which I don't think Gus did, and we have found our way to the top of Dark Death Mountain. Now, 1UP should know that he could get to these entrances on the bottom with going through a connector and using his mitts. I think the least obnoxious option for him right now would be to go west and check the 2 caves over there. But he's gonna drop down, so we'll see what we got. We have Spike Cave, which we know leads us to a GT small key. We also do not have the hammer for it yet, so it does not quite matter. Oh, also an invulnerability item. Alright, so right side of GT has thus far been super disappointing. Looks like 1UP's gonna take these mitts back to the town. Oh, I think he's gonna do GT as well, actually. These guys are like Ike and Mike, they think alike. Got a Palace of Darkness key, that is our 5th one. They've been basically doing the same exact stuff. Sometimes they switch paths and do like the opposite of each other, but they have thus far been very good about doing the same stuff and being in the same spot at the same time. They even managed to get gloves simultaneously, although in totally different spots, which I'm still pretty tickled about. Looks like we're going to take this pod key and dive... Oh, sorry, that's desert. Just kidding. Pod is in the dark world there, not the light world. We are going to go check the big chest for Gus, I think, maybe? Or did he already do that? He already did that. He is skipping the shovel again, though. I think he may have forgotten that that was there, but we still haven't seen it on one-up side to know if that's going to bite him. So now I just need one-up to really check the shovel so we know what we're getting in. Gus is going to do what I was thinking earlier and go take his connector to check these caves. Not going to find much over here. Spike cave that is totally undoable right now. One-up is proceeding through all of these GT area to get his junk, or, well, I guess a pod key is not total junk, but 5 of them feels pretty, feels almost excessive. And Gus is going... I don't recall. Turtle Rock. Gonna check the left side exit, maybe? He actually would have been better off just bonking or bomb jumping over the railing. You can use the boots to bonk over the railing, sort of like the hammer jump, or you could set up a very free bomb jump to do the same thing and save your trouble of dealing with pokies. However, with the fire rod, it's not that big of a deal. And he found the part of Cave Turtle Rock that is at Cave 45. That was an interesting tactic that one-up is using there. I think he was a victim of faulty quick swap. Alright, so where will our runners go next? I don't know that Gus checked this exit. I know one-up did. The potion shop is where that was. Okay. Looks like Gus is gonna take the conventional route to Zora and walk it instead of fake flippering. With the boots, it's not too bad. Is missing the opportunity to fake flipper into the waterfall fairy and see what's there, but he might have ended up getting cut off just like one-up did, so that's not too bad right now. Got a map on the Zora's Ledge. Data. I keep calling him Data. I don't know why. One-up is going to do the King's Tomb check, which is going to get us a whole lot of... That was one of very few available options with the mitts. Is one-up about to... Yeah, thanks, Allison. Right? Is one-up also walking to Zora? Are these runners, like, both walking to Zora? These guys are, like, sharing a brain right now. They are doing all the same stuff. They are both walking to Zora. No, like, what is this? I am fairly tired, I think, so... and I don't know why. I just really want one-up to be Data. Alright, so I guess I would think that Gus is going to do the Smith chain, because what else does he really have to do over here? And still, it looks like Ice Palace is our most attractive option, which is so bad. Oh, especially with that Ice Palace, second Ice Palace key that I did not notice they got from Zora. The Smiths are actually by Link's house. I think Gus might actually just be running to Ice Palace with the Smith. Meanwhile, oneup is going to check the damn drained item, I think, maybe? Which I don't think Gus actually checked. It is a small key to Turtle Rock. Okay, so now we definitely don't need to wait in the Hera basement for that Turtle Rock key. Yep, we're getting the Ice Palace play. They're really... Oh, he did get it? Okay. We are really low on options. The Ice Palace play is basically the best one. We're getting the check on the shovel finally, which is the thing that Gus skipped, which could hurt him. That's not really going to sink him, but it's going to give oneup some easier times with bosses. So with everything. So it's kind of unfortunate that Gus has skipped the shovel to get that sword. For instance, the room that he's in right now that he for some reason killed all the pengators in for no reason, would have been way easier with the tempered sword. Alright, oneup, where are you going? Gonna check where left side Turtle Rock goes, but you're gonna take the easy way. Gonna find out that you could have just taken this to go check the shovel and be a little disappointed, I think. Let's see here. Oneup has not gone forward through Turtle Rock, so I think he's gonna do that. Actually, he hasn't even done anything in here, so he's got like 5 checks he could do in here. We know that it's all pretty much crap, so not going to get anything out of it. Looks like Gus is trying to bomb jump to hedge his bets on maybe finding the hammer in here. Or he's actually going to give up on that now. If he were to bomb jump and then find the hammer in here, he would be able to complete the dungeon. However, now, if he finds the hammer in here, he will not be able to complete the dungeon. It wouldn't be in logic without the big key anyway, but the odds of having a required big chest are not super duper high. That is something you can tend to skip out on in a seed. Getting the only right side check that he can without the hammer. Almost. Oh, small key to Swamp Palace. That actually opens up. Wait, have we found Swamp Palace yet? No, we haven't. But once they find Swamp Palace, that opens up 2 checks. You can take the blacksmith pretty much everywhere. There's a couple places that will erase the blacksmith. The Uncle Passage will erase the blacksmith. The basement of Thievestown will erase the blacksmith. Not the top part, but the basement. The Old Man's Cave, Rescue Cave, will erase the blacksmith. And if you obtain a crystal, the blacksmith will be erased. But if you erase the if you obtain a pendant, you will not erase the blacksmith. I think that's all. Basically, anything that generates a follower is going to erase the blacksmith so that the game doesn't freak out and softlock. And the crystals in the vanilla game generate a cutscene with an NPC, so that is why they erase the blacksmith. Alright, OneUp's gonna get his junk from the right side of desert. And we're gonna get the smith check. 50 rupees, so now let's see. So now if we can find swamp, we have 2 hammerless checks. We can kill the land molas. Slightly out of logic, I believe, based on where the big key was found. We have the purple chest, everybody's favorite thing to do without the mirror or the flute. Gus gonna go ahead and check King's Tomb for his junk. So options are low and getting lower. Looks like OneUp is thinking the same with the blacksmith, but he is not diving Ice Palace though. I'm trying to think of where swamp could be that we haven't actually seen yet. And actually, I just thought of something, because there are two caves on Dark Death Mountain we have not checked. The west caves on Dark Death Mountain are, in fact, our best remaining options for something to happen. So I think it's going to be a case of who goes up to Death Mountain and checks the dark caves first. I mean, it could still just be in purple chest, which would be a super obnoxious thing, but, you know, it is possible. Mirrorless, fluteless purple chest. Always feels kind of bad. OneUp going back to the Dark World, I imagine, for the purple chest. The question is, does he go to Ice Palace? We are basically dead even right now. And we are running out of spots to check, like, real fast. I think Gus is heading towards the 2 caves on Dark Death Mountain that I was just discussing, which are really our best hope. I want to say Gus has a few more checks in, so as far as getting checks in, he has a slight lead in that sense, but there's no technical lead just yet because we are still searching for basically everything. Alright, so are we going to find swamp up here is the question. Oh, flippers. Flippers in the purple chest. I believe we have found an answer. How obnoxious is that? Here's another potential answer. That opens up 3 more entrances in the Dark World. Actually, no, that opens up the entire Palace of Darkness side in the Dark World. Yeah, I've been running entrance for a hot minute, so I know a thing or two. You get used to it. It's like anything, you get used to it after a while. Alright, we found Thieves Town pretty much immediately with those flippers. So, that's nice. 4 items that he can get right now. Big key to Ganon's Tower, not what you want to see. We're going to get the Land Molus kill on Gus's side. Again, I'm pretty sure that is not quite in logic yet based on where it was found. But who cares? It's something to do. You got to do it probably anyway. Let's just do it. Alright, so we've got a cape, which leads us to a connector we haven't gone through yet. And now we are done in Thieves Town. So we actually have quite a number of entrances on the Palace of Darkness side. I guess at this point expect our hammer to be over there. And yes, I am in fact a runner. As a matter of fact, the winner of this race will be up next against me. Oh, desert is the green pendant. Alright. So that's 2 pendants known. We know 1 crystal and 2 pendants. That's all we got so far. I think we've collected a number of maps, but nobody's really checked them yet. So the purple chest is the answer to the puzzle. For flippers of all things, but that gets us basically the entire world access. So that's whose route I would have gone with so far. I mean, they've basically been doing the same exact thing, and there's not a lot of options, so they're both really making the only available choices. So oneup actually has a lot that he can start doing over here with these flippers. I think getting that purple chest has now given him a slight edge on the checks. We found a connector over here we have not seen yet. I don't know. Mirror or hammer? It's a real toss-up. It's definitely going to be one of those. The hammer actually doesn't get you nearly as much as the mirror, so I would vote for the mirror as the thing I wanted to see, like, sooner, maybe. Well, actually, no. The hammer gets you a lot of easier access to the world, so that might be nicer. But the mirror really opens up a lot more. We have not seen the top of Desert Ledge. There's actually no. I think there's a key up there, a big key. So the answer was to get the purple chest to get flippers, but you had to get the purple chest hammerless, fluteless, mirrorless. The flute is in the left side of Swamp, which we have the small key from diving ice hammerless. We haven't found Swamp yet, though. I'm actually thinking the hammer, though, would be the next best thing to find, because that would get us access to all of Swamp once we figure out where Swamp is, which I think is probably available at this point because there's a lot of entrances that they can get. Then again, it could be... I don't know. Let's see, Gus has made his way to Dark Death Mountain. Alright, we got a map check that was super quick. It looked like Thieves Town was a crystal, and I didn't see what else. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know which one I would prefer at this point. One gets easier access. Okay, Turtle Rock's a crystal. Good to know. Alright, so oneup can make his way to the Palace of Darkness side. He's got 4 entrances over here and a freestanding item on the pyramid. Now the interesting thing is, and even if these connectors, or even if these entrances don't lead to what we need, they have found a couple more connectors which possibly go to our progression. We haven't found a way to the mire area. We do already have mitts, and we know where the flute is. So it seems, like that could be access to mire. We do know that mire itself is a connector. So we could actually maybe make our way there like that. Alright, so entrance number 1, we have nothing. Or actually, this is like entrance number 3. I think the Palace of Darkness entrance is the only entrance he has left now. So we may, if the item on the pyramid isn't anything important, we could actually be down to checking the connectors that he has found since he got those flippers. Which I know we saw Spectacle Rock Cave. Alright, Gus gets his obnoxious flippers. That is really like a terrible bit of logic. Alright, so we got a connector here at the pod entrance. Gonna go ahead and take that because... Nope, there's Meyer. Alright. And he does have the medallion to get back in here, which is nice. So, are we going to find the hammer or the mirror over here in the Meyer area? Well, that is the question. Alright, well, we got Sick Kid. We know this is just a key to the Tower of Hera, which we also know from a hint is just a key to Turtle Rock. Let's see here. We've got one more entrance here. That's the other Spectacle Rock side. He's got one more entrance in the Meyer area to check. I'm surprised he's running up here to do this right now. Bottle of catfish, we already knew. Alright, so... Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't check this first and then go up Spectacle Rock and drop down and just check it. The Spectacle Rock exit, the most helpful thing for us to find would be the top of Light World Death Mountain. It could conceivably let out on Turtle Rock Ledge. He is not going to check it, however. I believe he's going to go after the item that's just sitting on the pyramid. That could, in fact, be what he needs, so let's get that out of the way. After he checks the pyramid, he could theoretically run back to the Dark Witch's shop and go through the other side of Spectacle Rock. Which it makes it slightly out of the way now, but I mean he would be isolating this item on the pyramid pretty badly. So I could kind of see why he would want to do it that. Alright, so is the answer on the pyramid? We already know the answer is not in the Zora area. OneUp has already done all of this. The answer is not on the pyramid. Alright, so I think it's time to go through Spectacle Rock. Or it's time to go the other way. I thought the Spectacle Rock was at the Dark Witch's huts. Oh wait, he's got Dark Shopping Mall still. I forgot, he's got 3 more entrances that he hasn't... No wait, he was over there already, so I forget what he found over there that he's going back for. Obviously, he forgot what he was going back for as well, because he is going to save and quit. Alright, so in other connector news, we haven't been through Bumper Cave, so that is another possibility to... And we saw Bumper Cave, but it's at the light or the dark world at the bomb shop, so that is actually kind of obnoxious. Looks like he's taking desert. I think he's actually going to check those dark caves on Death Mountain that Gus checked earlier. We know that that's not really the answer either. So we really need to check a couple of connectors to find our next progression, I think. So I am struggling to figure out what we have left. I think that it's conceivable that one of those connectors lets out on Light World Death Mountain Summit, which would immediately net you a number of different checks. It would let you get the Ether Tablet and Hera and several drop downs if it does in fact let out. Also, oneup has not killed Moldorm, and he does have that big key, so he may go for that as well. I don't believe we've seen anybody go after the Dark Cross chest yet, even though we still don't have a lamp, so it's not technically in logic yet. It's almost getting to a point where you want to try to chase the logical options instead of sequence breaking, because you want to figure out what the heck you're supposed to get. You know it's got to be hammer or mirror or something good like that, so you're going to be looking for it. I think that oneup is going to go ahead and kill Moldorm and then check the dark caves. Yeah, we're basically down to a couple of connectors. They've checked basically everything else, and those connectors are in really obnoxious spots. Pod Big Chest was in fact a compass of some sort. But between these two runners, they've basically exhausted everything except for two connectors. Unless I am forgetting something on my side, which is possible. Trying to watch two people at once can be a little taxing. But as far as I know, they're lacking two connectors. One of those connectors I suspect could connect to Light World Death Mountain. The top of it, that is, that we haven't been able to reach yet. It is also possible that one of those connectors leads to the Turtle Rock Bridge, and the other entrance of Turtle Rock Bridge has what we need sitting in it. There is actually one nasty possibility that I just thought of. They have the bow, they have a fire source, and they have exactly one Ganon's Tower Smoky. They could climb GT and get two chests in logic. I have had a seed where your intended progression was to climb GT with 0 keys to get a Moon Pearl out of Mini Helmosaur Room and not be able to go any further. So, that is one of the nastiest possibilities we have left. Alright, so we're gonna see if Gus is just gonna go for this connector. He's gonna check Catfish first, I would imagine, but somebody's gotta check this connector at some point. Alright, One Up is going somewhere. One Up's going to GT. I think he's already done right side. One Up is making the climb. Oh boy. He still has one key left, so he can get everything up here. He won't be expected to reach everything up here, but he can in fact get everything up here. Well, actually I lied. He cannot get the post mold arm chest unless he knows how to hover, and I don't believe he does. So he can get 3 things up here, but he's only expected to get 2 things up here. Hopefully this has what he's looking for, and it's not just going through one of those connectors. Meanwhile, Gus is using these flippers to check all of the pod side stuff that One Up has been through. Gonna find the same nothing. The main difference will be whether he chooses to go through the spectacle rock connector that's over here. Skipping that hint. Alright, One Up is through the gauntlet, doing really well. Got the land molars coming up next, but he's got silver arrows. This is not much of a fight with those. Man, this seed is a real corker. This is like not a good seed at all. The logic is like giving them all sorts of just terrible options. Alright, Gus is almost done with the pod rotation. I really want him to go through this connector. I want to see what this is. Alright, One Up is almost through the areas of GT he needs to get to the chests. A couple more rooms, and then we will get some new information. Alright, here we go. Here are the 2 chests that are in logic. Alright, so this does not appear to be the answer. Unless there's another GT key floating around somewhere that we have missed somehow. Okay, so we're looking at connectors. Does One Up know how to hover, or what? Nope. Did not get it. Alright, so that is one obnoxious possibility eliminated from us. We do know that Ganon is the pyramid drop, so we do need to do this climb at some point anyway. However, it always feels better to do this climb when you have the hook shot and you can actually like get over to the last chest and kill Aghanim. And One Up is going to go ahead and nope out of GT. He is done. I give him props for remembering that that is a terrible option that he has on the table. I don't know if I would have done that without checking those last 2 connectors, but that is something that's easy to forget to do, to go upstairs GT with no keys. And Gus is teasing us with this Spectacle Rock connector as well. Did not go through. I believe he still has to check the 3 entrances down by the Dark Ice Rod area, though. If he can live long enough to get there, that should help. Good on him for remembering that he can bonk a fairy out of that tree. Alright. I actually don't think OneUp's been in Ice Palace yet, so I'm fairly surprised that he went upstairs GT before Ice Palace. That was actually an extra bold move now that I think about it. This seed is not currently long, but it is going to be long because we are not finding anything that we need. This is definitely going to turn into one of the longer seeds. Alright, so somebody needs to go through Bumper Cave and Spectacle Rock Cave to get us some new information. However, OneUp is going to be occupied for a few minutes here in Ice Palace. I believe he's going to get a Swamp Small Key and not much else out of here. Alright, we got Swamp as a pendant. Ooh, spicy. And that is our third pendant. So, Gus should actually have all the knowledge. He won't know which crystals are 5-6 crystals, but he does know which are crystals, at least. So Swamp Pendant with a left side flute. That seems pretty typical. Maybe. I don't know. I didn't catch anything but the Swamp Pendant, to be perfectly honest. But with that Swamp Pendant and the 2 pendants that he's already collected, he should know what he has to get for crystals. He won't know the 5-6s, but he knows the crystals. Also, Gus now doing the option that was on the table that OneUp already did. Not going to get anything from it. I really wish he'd gone through the connector first. It seems clear that a connector is going to spit us out into a region that we need to get to, that we have not yet been to. My vote is still for Light World Summit of Death Mountain. Because that would get us the most checks available. Or even potentially, well, Hera or Paradox Top. Either one would work. OneUp is almost done with the checks he can do in Ice Palace, though, and Bumper Cave is right next to him, so hopefully he does that next. Oh, apparently he's totally out of checks in Ice Palace now. Got his Swamp Small and not much else. Alright, so Bumper Cave next. Bumper Cave next. Where are we gonna go? And there you go. Light World Summit of Death Mountain, which gets you Hera Ether Tablets, and 3 drop downs over here. Actually, 2 drop downs because we've already seen the bottom. So that's pretty much what I expected to find. Here's Laser Bridge, totally in logic. We do have a cape. The only problem is I would not have dropped down before checking Hera and the Ether tablet. Oh, no hammer for Hera. You're right. I'm done. That could change shortly, though, depending on what's on Laser Bridge. Hey, there you go. You were saying... Okay, so that lets them get... Honestly, that doesn't let them get a huge amount, logically speaking. It does smooth some things out, though. The back of escape, however, is a thing. So, I wonder what's back here. They get a few checks with the hammer. We've seen Mimic Cave. I can't exactly remember where. They could do the Hammer House in Village of Outcasts, which we know leads to an item by a hint. They could get to Hera. They could get to the Ether Tablets. And they still have one more drop down on the summit of Death Mountain. And depending on the medallion for Turtle Rock, they could in fact... Oh, never mind. We know it's Quake. They cannot, in fact, get that, or at least oneup cannot, because he does not have Quake, which was... I don't know where Quake was that he wouldn't have gotten it, because he's basically done everything that Gus has done. Gus, meanwhile, got the bad news that Ganon's Tower was not worth a damn. However, OneUp's going to take that hammer and sequence brick left side, it looks like, even though at this point I feel like I would be trying to do the things that are in logic, because they've got to have a mirror coming up soon. Like, this is a really... Oh, look at that hover. That chest requires 4 or 4 GT small keys, so it is not in fact in logic right now. And we did not get a heck of a lot for our troubles. Looks like he's going to continue down the path. Yeah, they did put themselves on fairly equal footing that time. What? Did Gus climb before he did right side? What? I thought he already did this. Unless he's going to get the big chest, maybe? I think he's going to get the big chest. I think he orphaned that. Okay, that makes more sense. I was really confused about that. I did apparently skip the tower room, though, which is interesting. Ooh, OneUp did not quite set up that bomb jump correctly. Gotta get right on the edge. There we go, got it that time. Doesn't have any keys to go any further, which is another reason why this sequence break did not seem that appealing. He's really going to want to turn that hammer into the very few checks that he has with it, I think. Looks like Gus is struggling to think of what he could do next. He does have 2 connectors to go through, and we obviously know that the bumper ledge cave, or the bumper cave, is the best one to go through. We don't know where Spectacle Rock goes. We haven't found Turtle Rock ledge yet, though, so that's a pretty strong possibility. So Hammer House leads to 1 item. Mimic Cave, wherever they left that, is an item. I really don't remember where that is. And Hera and Ether Tablet are a thing. Oh, well, that's an item that we probably want. Big Key of Thieves Town. Now we are getting somewhere. Entrance frequently gets you to 18 to 20 hearts. Although it feels kind of bad when you get those 18 to 20 hearts before you find half of your other items. We do have hammer pegs. I forgot about that. That's an entrance. Just a shop, though. Gus finally remembered the shovel, but it is not going to get him anything that he... That's not going to get him the progression he needs. It's going to get him a sword, which is nice. But he really needs to go to Bumper Cave. And he's cutting out a little bit for me. I don't know what he's doing, but I assume he's going to dig up that shovel. Meanwhile, oneup is going to go straight to Thieves Town with that Thieves Town big key. Excuse me, no reason not to. That's a fully clearable dungeon. And as far as his options go, probably the most attractive one currently. Could theoretically just go to Palace of Darkness and finish that out as well. Doesn't have the lamp yet. God only knows where that's at. However, you got the fire rod, which makes the Palace of Darkness kind of free in the dark, so it's not too bad. So let's see. We know Palace of Darkness is a crystal. For the tracker on Gus, he should know all of the crystals. Doesn't know which ones are 5/6s, but I don't think that really matters too much, as long as he knows which ones are crystal. Actually, it doesn't appear like he's marking his tracker, which is interesting. So let's see. For go mode, though, we need an ice rod, a hook shot. No, we don't. Actually, we might not need the hook shot. No, we do need the hook shot because we have to do GT. So we don't need it for Swamp necessarily, but we need it for GT. Alright, so we need an ice rod, we need a hook shot, we need an Eastern Palace big key, we need a Misery Mire big key, we need a Turtle Rock big key, and that is technically it. Oh, Gus has made his way to Laser Bridge. He is going to get his hammer. Probably not be happy, but he'll get his hammer. I have not actually seen what oneup has gotten out of Thieves Town. I don't think he's gotten anything that we care about. I'm not seeing anything on the tracker that looks particularly wonderful. So if Blind doesn't have anything, he's going to be reduced to going again for those hammer checks. Meanwhile, speaking of hammers, there's Gus's hammer. Post 2-hour hammer does not feel good by any stretch of the imagination. So I don't think he's happy to see that. He's probably happy and unhappy to see that all at the same time. Alright, Blind, one quick scripted fight away from death. If you just poke him real quick 9 times with a sword, he goes down. Nice job, Data. I keep calling him Data. oneup. Nice job on the fight. Gets it off without a hitch. So Thieves Town was more crap, and now we're left with hammer checks. Gus actually remembering what oneup did not, that you can get this chest without the big key. And his stream is cutting out on me, so I'm not going to be able to see what he gets from that. So hopefully it wasn't important. I don't know. And he is going to go try to kill Trinex without the big key, so this is going to be a short trip. Oh, never mind. He was just going for the full magic. That makes sense. Okay. Not a bad thing to do. Meanwhile, looks like OneUp's just going to die right back in Ice Palace. Says, screw the big key. I'm just going to complete this dungeon because I probably need to anyway. So why not? Gonna have to bomb jump so that you can complete it outside of the logic, but he will be able to complete it at least. The only way this hurts him is if there's something in the big chest, in which case it's gonna hurt him real bad. Yeah, he wanted the magic refill. I didn't even think about that. Gonna get our spike cave check, but we know this is just a GT small key from a hint that I don't think that Gus actually checked. So he doesn't know this. And congratulations, now we know where all 4 GT keys are, I think. Now we are in no mode for getting to Ganon. Whoop-de-doo. Still gotta get some crystals first, though. Missing quite a few things for that. Actually, still a hookshot as well. Where is this hookshot gonna be is the real question. I think that's our last. Well, now that we still don't have a mirror, the mirror is a major sticking point right now. Because again, the hammer really doesn't open a huge amount. At least not without a lamp. With a lamp, it opens a little bit more in the form of Palace of Darkness. Ganon is in the pyramid. And they both already climbed GT to get nothing because they weren't sure what options they still had. Gus also going to take the interesting option of sequence breaking this late in the game without very valuable items. Don't know how I feel about these sequence breaks when you know that you got to have a mirror or a hookshot or something somewhere. This late in the game, you might be more served by staying in logic just to find that next big thing. Because again, hammer doesn't open that much, so ignoring the hammer and what it gets you could be at your peril. Pulls out that bomb jump nicely. We'll see. He's got a couple more keys. Oops, does not get the other one. He's got a couple more keys, so we'll see if he can get to Rando Room. Takes an awful lot of bomb jumps to get that far. Well, actually, no, he's got boots, so he can. Once he does that, he can just kind of bonk down. Meanwhile, OneUp is on Cold Stare. He's got a Temperate Sword. This shouldn't be too bad. We know this is going to drop a crystal. We don't know much else besides that. Well, we have a lamp. Which basically only tells us that the Ice Palace Big Key is not in a dark room anymore. That actually, well, it's not in logic, but it makes Palace of Darkness more attractive. So if it were me, that would probably be my next stop. I'm not 100% sure where OneUp is going. He may actually be going to Palace of Darkness, but just taking the long way. I do believe he is, in fact, doing that. Meanwhile, Gus is going to take that hammer and sequence break his way through the rest of Ice Palace as well. Interestingly enough, I think the lamp could still be in the big key chest of Palace of Darkness here. Or not the lamp, the Ice Rod, the Ice Palace big key to lead to the lamp. That is the one not in the dark room we haven't checked. We still do have a couple of entrances on Death Mountain we can get to. We know Swamp is a pendant that has the flute on left side, but we haven't actually seen Swamp yet. And obviously we don't really need the flute, although it would make their lives a lot easier. However, this seed does not seem to be equipped for making people's lives easy whatsoever. You are correct on the implications of the logic. However, they seem to be okay enough still sequence breaking. And key logic is something you kind of only bring into play a little bit later. We haven't seen Hookshot Cave yet. Oh no, we have seen Hookshot Cave. We haven't seen a Hookshot. Where is Hookshot Cave? It was somewhere early. Alright, so Mirror is going to be our probably biggest find, the next big thing we're looking for. We do have some possibilities open for where it could be. Alright, Helmosaur is down. Just a map and a crystal. We still aren't 100% sure which ones are the 5/6s. We haven't found the bomb shop yet. And some of our crystals aren't even in logic yet, so... Alright, so OneUp's getting his knowledge on the swamp, so he knows the rest of his crystals. Oh wait, no, he hasn't defeated Desert yet. That is a lie. He does not know his crystals. Because Sahasrara is another thing we have not found yet. I would imagine both of those are at this point are probably mirror locked. Alright, so where are we gonna go? Are we gonna turn the hammer into one of the logical things? He's got one more drop down and Hera and the Ether Tablet if he goes back through Bumper Cave, which I would assume is what he's doing right now. It is in fact what he's doing right now. So he's gonna want to check Ether and Hera before he drops down, so he can get everything in one go. He could theoretically, well, if he had Quake, he could get into Turtle Rock. I'm still confused about how he doesn't have Quake because he's done like everything. I do not remember where Quake was. Well, looks like we got a hook shot next. The Turtle Rock entrance is the chest minigame. And it looks like Gus is right on his heels with that hook shot. And the bomb shop guy lets us know that Misery Mire and Palace of Darkness are our 5/6s. So hookshot allows easier access to the GT left side, and we have hookshot cave itself. So it would appear that Mirror could be in hookshot cave, maybe. I think that oneup is actually going to check hookshot cave right now. I believe it was in Desert main entrance. So I guess it's kind of fitting that we found the hookshot on a tablet, considering that we have to use the book to get into hookshot cave. If the mirror's not here, then it's got to be in GT, I guess, because where the heck else? I think the only thing in GT we didn't see was the rando room, though. Hey! Looks like we got ourselves a mirror. And a big key to Meyer. So, that's another dungeon we can clear, and that is a lot of entrances we can get. Also, we can get the big key that is on the desert ledge, which I would assume to be another big key that we are going to need, since we've basically found all the other ones. Hopefully it's not the Ice Palace one. We're still missing Turtle Rock, Eastern, or Ice Palace. That's a 2 out of 3 chance that it's going to be a key that they want to. And with the mirror in hand, I imagine that we're actually going to find Swamp before too long. Gonna go straight to Hyrule Castle, it looks like. Top of Hyrule Castle, 3 entrances over there. Or we are not gonna go straight to Hyrule Castle. No, we're gonna go kill Vitreous. That actually makes sense too. Might do Hyrule Castle after that. I don't. Yeah, we need the ice rod as well. I was just sort of covering the big keys we were missing because we know there's a big key on the desert ledge, which we hope is not the Ice Palace big key. And we can now reach it with that mirror. The crack in the pyramid, I think we got a hint for, and I believe it leads to 1 item. I could be misremembering. I'm not sure. It has been a long seed. A lot has been going on, and there has been a lot of weird logic to keep track of. He can't actually get the big bomb, though, without the flute. So, if we need whatever's in the pyramid, we are going to need to find Swamp first, because the flute is on the left side of Swamp. And the way this seed is going, I would expect the only way to get to the... since flute is the only way to get to the big bomb, to get the big bomb to the pyramid, I would expect Swamp to be on the top of Hyrule Castle, because it's just that kind of seed. We do have a couple of other mirror entrances available. Hey, I live for weird entrance logic. Alright, gonna get some NMG strats on the eyes, because I think we forgot we had silvers for a second, but there you go, he remembers. Silvers make this fight a total joke. Meanwhile, Gus is making his way through Palace of Darkness. Got the lamp, so it's gonna be a little easier on his end. Palace of Darkness didn't really get us anything, as I recall. He's gonna need to go to Hookshot Cave so he can get that mirror. So we can finally start checking our mirror entrances. Which I do believe oneup is going to the castle right now. So he can check those 3. So we have Sahasrara, we have Swamp. Those are our biggest things missing that occur to me. Wouldn't be surprised to see one or both of those up here. From the hint we got, the pyramid should only lead to 1 item, not 3. So it should not be Sahasrara. I'm not entirely sure what it would be at this point, but it should not be Sahasrara. Gonna get a hammer pegs check on Gus's side, which I think was nothing. Hey, look, you can finally rescue the old man. They can access Bumper Ledge, but we know from a hint that the Light World version of that is nothing. Hey, it's Swamp, because of course you have to come into Swamp to get the flute from the top of the pyramid so that you can get the bomb to bring it back to the pyramid, because that's just this seed, called it. Gus is getting his Thieves Town big key, so he will probably go there next, although he really wants to go to the Hookshot Cave. Was it a Mimic Cave Ledge, or Mimic Ledge hint? I totally missed it, honestly. What did it say? We haven't actually found our way to Turtle Rock Ledge, but I suspect the Spectacle Rock entrance goes there. Ooh, Potion Shop. I forgot we were missing that. I expect the Spectacle Rock entrance or connector to go there. Nobody's gone through that yet. Meanwhile, we know we have a flute on left side Swamp, which does nothing for us other than fast travel. It does, well, actually it gets us the big bomb. That's literally all it does for us. It doesn't get us to Mire. We already have a way to Mire. And I'm sure they wanted that fast travel about 2 hours and 20 minutes ago. Alright, we've got Gus in the Hookshot Cave getting his mirror. We're gonna see where he takes that. Mire big key also, so he might go straight to Mire and do the same thing that OneUp's doing right now, going through Swamp. OneUp definitely got the hint that the flute was over here, so gonna do left side Swamp. Yeah, you don't want to leave that behind. You might need the big bomb. So, and yeah, oh, pedestal check, which is just 3 bombs. Yeah, I would kind of expect at this point that since the Swamp is up here on top of the castle, and you have to get the flute from the left side of it, so that you can go get the big bomb just to bring the big bomb all the way back to the pyramid, that we probably need whatever's in the pyramid. Because why wouldn't you? So far, I'm doing okay on predictions for this seed, so let's just go with that. It's gonna happen. We do have that one big key that we know is on Desert Ledge. Gus is going. Where is Gus going? I don't remember where this lets out. Oh, this... No, that's not that. That's not right. Gus is going to... Okay, he's just going to the Death Mountain area. Also, I still don't know where that Quake is that OneUp does not have because they've checked everything. I really want to know what it is that OneUp skipped that I did not see him skip. Oh, OneUp did not hit the switch. That hurts. We're gonna do left side twice today, guys. Oh, I think it was on Land Molos. That would be the thing he has not done yet. Yeah. That gets us into Turtle Rock and gets us one item, as I recall from a hint. Oh, we're gonna get some Mimic Cave action. Although I suspect them getting that hammer, they should have that they were expected to trade that directly into the hook shot to get the mirror. So I would be chasing the mirror at this point if I were them, which OneUp is definitely doing. Look, we got our flute. We got our flute a day late and 2 hours late, later than we wanted to get it. Basically, just for the heck of it now. Looks like Gus is going to go ahead and kill Vitreous and then probably turn that into a top of castle check. Who is going to be the first one to go into the mire area? We have 3 entrances and a big key to check over there. Still missing Sahasrara. And we have an item cave in the crack of the pyramid and in the Turtle Rock, I believe, from hints, unless I'm misremembering. And I don't know which ones we're missing. Small key to Castle Tower. We do not need Aghanim for anything, though, so that is useless. Dude, they had 18 hearts before they had their hammer, their hookshot, and their mirror. At least OneUp did. Gus is gonna need to be a little bit careful here. He's got powder, but he's got to live long enough to use it. Alright, we got ourselves an Argus fight. Tempered Sword makes it not so bad. We got some silvers. These can be a little tricky to aim, but OneUp gets it first try for a green ruby. And not even a green pendant. I wonder at what point he goes back to kill the Land Molos. Although we don't 100% know that we need that done. It would kind of suck to find Sahasrara and not have the green pendant in hand already. We are running out of things that we need. But we still have a few. going to go ahead and we are not going to activate the flute yet. Alright, we got ourselves Vitreous on Gus's side. Remembering that he has the bow and silvers. Oh, never mind. He just wanted to go to the Dark World first. And Vitreous goes down on his side for another crystal. OneUp is slightly ahead as far as clearing stuff, I think. Is what it seems like to me. He has land molas, but also OneUp has the entirety of swamp over him. Also, OneUp has Thieves Town and he does not. Alright, we got two entrances here on the south. I don't recall if the race game was anything. Actually, we have one entrance because we know K45 is a part of Turtle Rock, so... And we have an item cave. Good old Agata. And it looks like Gus is in fact going to do the same thing by checking the top of the castle. Hey, we've got a Cane of Burna. Doesn't do us any good whatsoever. Really want somebody to go to Desert just to see what that big key is. Or go to Mire. Okay, there was a small key over here. I don't imagine it's anything that we need, though. Yeah, like, they should have all the small keys they really need at this point. OneUp can now logically reach Ganon if he does Spike Cave, though. I think OneUp forgot there for a second that Cave 45 was Turtle Rock. Oh, but Gus is doing the thing. And it's Turtle Rock, it's not the Ice Palace one, so that's good. That's a new one. And OneUp is right behind him, he's also doing. Only he has the ooh. Uh-oh. OneUp has not cleared the land molas. So while Gus can go get himself another crystal here after visiting Sahasrara, OneUp will not be able to do. So we are one Eastern Palace big key away from no mode. If the Eastern Palace big key is at the big bomb, no, neither one got the Mold Arm 2 chest. They both climbed without the hookshot. If the Eastern Palace big key is at the crack in the pyramid, this might still be kind of interesting. As far as, like, who's got what. Speaking of interesting, the back of Desert is just sitting at the dam. So it's very accessible to OneUp if he so chooses to go kill them. Yeah, if the Eastern Palace big key is in the crack of the pyramid, that makes this a little interesting still, though, for sure. But if it's in Turtle Rock, for instance, or in the actual main Turtle Rock, which is the chess minigame, then this is looking all kinds of good for Gus. The land molas are really not hard to get to. The question becomes, when does OneUp feel like that's his best bet? Does not appear that he's going after the big bomb yet. He may be checking Turtle Rock because I don't think he checked the medallion on that. He's gonna find out that he does not in fact have that medallion though. Or he's just gonna run back the other way, I guess. Okay. And we're going big bomb after all. I don't know what item cave we have at the crack of the pyramid, but there was a hint saying something is there. I'm not sure what we're missing. Because there's like 30 item caves, and it's hard to remember exactly what you're missing. The race is going a bit slowly because they had a very crazy chain of progression to get in this seed. The big question mark we have is the Eastern Palace big key. And depending on where that is, that'll tell us whether which runner is in the better position. I'm actually surprised that Gus didn't go straight to Turtle Rock with that big key and that ice rod. Okay, so I guess I'm thinking of a hint from another race because that was not an item cave. We still also haven't found our way to Turtle Rock Ledge, which is another couple of entrances and checks. But I suspect that we know how to get there if somebody would just go through Spectacle Rock. I also don't know exactly where OneUp is going right now. Oh, he's going to finish the climb. No, he's going to finish left side and then finish the climb, probably. Rando room could be the key that we need. There's only one chest upstairs, which is not as attractive. But you do need to do the climb anyway, so there's no reason not to do it right now while you're in here. In the case of our runners, you do need to do the climb a second time because both of our runners climbed the tower without the hook shot. Because they were running low on options, and so they just both sort of picked the worst option they had available to them. Because they had 2 hours of no progression, really, and, you know, it was feeling like the kind of seed that would make you climb GT without the hook shot. Well, really, they were down to doing the top of GT and a couple of different connectors. So, those are kind of like even on. Aww. Oh, that's the big key we didn't really want to see. I guess given the choice between climbing GT without the hook shot and one of two connectors, it can be a tough call. He should have it, I thought. Oh, he doesn't have it on his tracker either. Where the heck was that at? How is he missing that? I could have sworn he had that. I really don't see what he's missed that could be that. The Desert Palace Bicky was fairly early. No, Quake is behind the Desert Palace Bicky. I wonder if he forgot to mark it. I need to see his menu real quick, but he's using quick swap, so it's not gonna work. I just don't see where he could have left that. Meanwhile, Gus is making his way through Swamp. He's going to get that flute, which isn't really going to get him anything of value whatsoever. We'll see if he wants to go to Thieves Town or Turtle Rock next, maybe. Oh, did he not go forward? No, he went forward. I thought he went forward here. He did not go forward through Turtle Rock? Maybe this is where it was. This is probably where it was. So he might actually do the Lanmolas after this. Yeah, there it is. Okay. I was really struggling to think of what he had not actually done yet. And we know the front of this is something not useful. Looks like we're gonna get a... oh, I think oneup forgot that he got a hint that this is nothing. Alright, and we're gonna get a Thieves Town play from Gus. Meanwhile, oneup is gonna go... I'm not sure where oneup is gonna go. He really needs to go kill the Landmolas, which is actually at the dam, so he could just flute there really quick. Oh, he's gonna check the big chested desert. Yep, makes sense. Gus looked at checkerboard for sure. I'm pretty sure they both did. Oh no, Quake was there. I thought it was at the Landmolas. Okay, never mind. He doesn't... well, he still needs to defeat the Landmolas though. Which he is going to do right now. Yeah, I mean, oneup was gonna get there eventually. So this gets him an ice rod, although he doesn't know it, and he won't know it by the crystal drop or the pendant dropping. We still don't know where the Eastern Palace big key is. We have one chest upstairs GT that he actually did not climb for, which I thought he might while he was in there. We have two chests one big chest in Turtle Rock, and we have Trinex himself. We have the big chest of Ice Palace, which is our least palatable possibility left. We have some mirror checks I think we have not done yet. We've got Bombo's tablet, for instance. Don't think we've seen Graveyard Ledge. That might be about it that we haven't seen. We haven't seen Turtle Rock Ledge. And we have not seen the chess game inside of Turtle Rock, which could have that Eastern Palace big key. I think that about narrows what's left down. Gus getting himself a red mail out of the main. That's about all he's going to find in Thieves Town, I think, that's got any interest to it whatsoever. One Up is meanwhile going to book it straight to that ice rod. I expect he's going to go to Turtle Rock after this, because that's really all he has left that's interesting. He's got other possibilities, but that's like the most attractive one left out of all. It does get you a crystal. And Laser Bridge, I believe, was inaccessible, so he's got to go this way. Alright, we got Blind down with little to no trouble for a GT small key on Gus's side. Now we got to see what Gus is going to do next, because he can also kill Trinex. But One Up is now actually ahead of him in that regard. So if the big key is on Trinex, or in the well, we've already checked the big chest. If the big key is on Trinex, One Up just took a bit of a lead. Looks like, yep, Gus is following hot on his heels. Alright, we are moments away from seeing what Trinex has for us. We've got the Butter Sword. So this is really not going to be any kind of problem, this fight. It's going to be very... Three swipes and you're out. Or maybe 4 if you miss. Alright, cycle 1 accomplished. Here we go, cycle 2. Gus is meanwhile going to be getting to that room right after One Up leaves it. And we have the big key of Eastern Palace and go mode. And One Up has just taken a slight lead in this race. A very slight lead. Both of the runners have already climbed GT without the hook shot. So he just needs to go back upstairs and he's good to go. All right, Gus. Yeah, he opened the door to Moldorm. Yeah, he killed Moldorm and did a sort of half-baked hover and then gave up. All right, so Gus is also in go mode, and now it is a race to the finish line for real. These runners not even 2 minutes apart right now. And they have to kill the Armos Knights, and then they have to climb GT to get to Ganon, and then they can take out all of their frustrations on this terrible seed on Ganon when they get to him. They had to work real hard to get their hammer and their hook shot and their mirror so they could finish this seed up. Yep, it's a good old-fashioned GT climb, so good we had to do it twice. Well, we didn't have to, but we definitely did it twice. Alright, we got silver arrows, so the Armos Knights should be a blink and you miss it kind of fight, and they're down for a red rupee, our final crystal, and still don't get to go to Ganon just yet because we have to climb the tower and kill Aghanim 2. Yes, we got to enjoy the gauntlet twice. We didn't have to, but we just wanted to do it so much. And again, when you're left with a choice between choosing 2 connectors on the far side of the world and just climbing GT for 3 chests, that can be a hard choice to make, as evidenced by the fact that both of our runners chose to do the GT play before they checked the connector. oneup is currently in the lead by a minute and a half, something like that. It all comes down to who has a better gauntlet, perhaps. Except for oneup is trying to go to Gan. I don't know what oneup's trying to do right now, actually. Okay, there they go. They're going the right way now. That just gave us a little evening up there. That little mistake right there. I guess oneup wants this to be as close a race as possible. Got ourselves a good old-fashioned GT gauntlet climb to determine the winner of this race, something you do not see in entrance very often. Yes, Ganon is in fact vanilla. Feels open, man. These runners just a couple of rooms apart. This could really turn on a dime. I mean, the gold and temperate sword make a slight difference on Ganon. Depending on how good you are with the 1-1 cycle, maybe not as much. I don't know how good Gus might be at that. Alright, Gus entering the gauntlet. oneup is getting to the end of it. Gonna hit these land molas again. Did pretty well last time. How are we gonna do this time? Got the 1 cycle. Good job. Gus getting a little bullied by the Beamos. One Up suffering a slight quick swap mishap. Ooh, Gus slightly misses the one cycle land molas. That's going to cost a few seconds. Meanwhile, One Up's on the torch puzzle already. Fairly quick to do with the fire rod. And we've already checked all these chests. We don't need anything over here. Gus unfortunately taking a fall there. Still fairly close race. Any kind of shenanigans on Ganon and this race could turn around real quick. Moldorm 2 is down. And One Up going to go ahead and open that chest that he was not able to reach before. One Up has just generally checked more stuff, I think, maybe. Alright, on to Aghanim 2. Analyzing patterns and trying to... Yeah, ooh. Got a 0 there. And another 0. That's going to give Gus a little time to catch up there. That may have been a triple. It was kind of close on the... Yep, there we go. Aghanim is down. Gus has no time for those bombs. He's just going to run right past them. We'll see how Gus does on these on this Aghanim fight. Alright, so we got butter, we got silvers, we have red mail. This should really not be a huge challenge right here. We got the single for Gus. Looks like another single. Got a double on that one. We're already into phase 2. Probably about to be in phase 3. Gold Sword gets that pretty quickly. Yeah. Alright, and Aghanim is down for Gus. Barring something really crazy happening, I think One Up should have this. I don't think we've determined yet who the loser would go up against. Alright, that's a nice double for One Up, setting up for another double, and GG. Ooh, Gus taking an immediate death. That kind of hurts. Unless he did that on purpose to regain health, I don't know. GG to One Up. Alright, Gus in the fight with Tempered. It's going to be slightly harder to pull off a one cycle here. It looks like he did it.
GG
taking. Oh, One Up is... Is that One Up? Have you joined?
No, I was saying GG to One Up. I'm trying to get him in here for an interview right now,
I was gonna say I didn't hear the ding.
No, don't. Not yet. I've asked just to... Okay, he says that he just needs a minute.
All right. Well, we'll see if we can't get Gus to take down take down Mr. Cannon here while we wait. It's taken a couple of deaths. I think the first one may have been a health regain. The second one not as purposeful. Getting a little low on health again. He needs to be careful. He cannot take any more hits. As they're informing us that Gus will be facing the loser of Sir Linklaw and Matt 7890. And that race will be whenever they schedule. Actually, I don't know if the Sir Linklaw's on the schedule yet. Alright, we got a couple fire bats. Good use of the cape to not take damage there, because that would be another death that he cannot afford right now. And we are about into phase 4. Oh, it is on the schedule apparently already. Friday at 8:30. Cool. Alright, nice double, and... Ooh. Ooh, one. It took another death. Going to drop back in and take him on again. Might be a little bit of tilt. I mean, we're knocking right at 3 hours. This has been one heck of a seed. Some really crazy logic for people that might not be used to some of the crazier hoops that entrants can take you through. A rough one for sure. Ooh, it's taken a few too many hits there. He might have a problem if he doesn't be careful here. And I believe we have just been joined by oneup.
Actually, quite the contrary. When the trackers need to head out, so figured that since, we're finishing up here, that it's fine for them to go.
Okay, just kidding. They are fooling. All right, we're back into phase 4. Can't take any hits, but that's pretty doable in phase 4. All right, got ourselves a double. One more. Ooh, that was a little close. And GG, we have a Ganon kill for Gus. Fairly close race overall, considering all of the craziness that happened. Okay, now we have oneup. GG oneup. Welcome. I don't know.
Oh, there we go. All right.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
So, how are you feeling?
I feel like that was a pretty awful seed.
I feel like your feeling has some merit.
Whoops.
I mean, I certainly didn't hope with my routing. Like, I had some awful routing in there, but yeah, it was not a nice seed to begin with.
You might be surprised at exactly how much your routing matched up to Gus's pretty much all times.
Oh wow.
Including going for the GT climb over taking the last couple of connectors.
Yeah, I started doing the climb, thinking I've got the big key, I've got the bow, that's everything I need. And then I got up there and I'm like, oh, and the hook shot.
The way the seed was going, it was certainly not a call outside of the realm of possibility. There was very little left to you at that point. You were basically left with 2 connectors and that. All around,
Yeah.
it made you jump through a lot of hoops to get that hammer and that hook shot and that mirror.
Yeah, cause like yeah, you had to take the
Oh, what happened?
Alright, well, I'm not sure what interesting thing OneUp was about to say because we just lost.
Yeah, he just kind of disappeared. No clue what happened there. On that note, I'm also trying to get Gus in here too. Oh no, maybe wrong button. I'll wait for him to hop back into the waiting room so I can drag him back in. But it might not be a terrible idea for me to ping him that he'd DC'd.
Yeah, this was a seed that was a very big slog in the middle, with very little progression available, because they had to do one specific thing.
So, mind you, I haven't played Link to the Past Randomizer because I just haven't had the time. And just, like, I've only really been able to watch it. Oh, he got kicked. Alright. But I honestly found it so impressive that you guys are able to keep all of that in your head. Like, every single entrance, every single, like...
Well, most of us use trackers for the entrance part. It's a little crazy to try to do it without. It's one of those things you get used to, though. I mean, anything you do enough, you get used to. And even to this day, I still forget things from time to time and have it bite me right in the butt.
What the hell's going on? One Up got kicked in. Anyways, while I'm trying to sort out what's going on with One Up, welcome Gus to the channel as well.
thank you.
GG, Gus. How's it going over there?
I kind of starting to wonder if joining this tournament might have been a mistake.
You definitely got one of the less friendly entrance seeds just now, and less friendly entrance seeds are definitely a totally different animal than less friendly standard open seeds.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't claim I'm like an expert on cross keys or anything, but between all like the practice seed I've done, like this is probably the worst one I've played.
Well, you and OneUp actually routed fairly similarly the entire time, and I know OneUp has actually played a decent amount of entrance, so you guys were making a lot of the same decisions, at least.
Well, I guess that's promising. I mean, we did finish kind of at the same time almost. So
yeah, it was just that kind of seed having to get the fluteless, mirrorless purple chest for the flippers so that you could go to the pod side for... Actually, I don't even think there was anything over there to even help you. And then you were really just had to do that one thing. You had to go through that one connector to break open the seed. And you both, as I was telling OneUp before you got into technical difficulties there, both chose to do the GT climb before going through those connectors, which, you know, in some seeds you might have just found the mirror up there, but in this seed, I was unfortunately through the connector. Sometimes you got to roll the dice, and sometimes the dice just, you know, roll back at you.
yeah, for sure. I can't even remember where I found the cape. It wasn't until after I did Tyler with McGee that I actually realized that I could go through that bumper cave I saw before.
I do not actually recall where that was either.
I'm trying to think as well, and I just can't.
Yeah, I don't even remember unless it was in pod somewhere.
There was a lot of stuff going on there, so honestly, just really don't remember. I don't think it was on the pod side though. I think you could have actually gotten the hammer before you got the flippers, potentially.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh well, I guess it depends on where the cape was, but I don't think it was behind the flip.
But at any rate, you still needed to get the hammer, or get the flippers to get some of the other stuff anyway. So, like, you were gonna need those eventually.
Yeah.
Actually, was there anything in Swamp besides the flute? You know, you might actually not have needed the flippers this seed, to be honest. If you fake flippered into skull, which OneUp did actually.
I don't think Swamp had anything significant. The only thing that it did have, I believe, wasn't a pendant dungeon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know that you actually needed the flippers. If you got the hammer before you did the purple chest, you would have had access to everything on the pod side. So, well, whoops. But I mean, it did get you some more checks, and it did seem like a likely possibility at least. I don't think anything was on Zorlid either, was it? Just like a small key that you could have done with that?
I think it was a map.
Map, I think.
Oh yeah, map. I'm thinking of another seed. So yeah, you could have fake flippered into Skull and fake flippered into Thieves Town, and I think that's all you really needed the flippers for. But the purple chest was a pretty obvious call at that point anyway. So.
Yeah, but it was kind of an annoying one to make because I had to travel with the smith all the way to the house there near the Link's house, and then go back to grab the purple chest. And I mean, there's so many. At least for me, there were so many other like.
The cape wasn't in Ice Palace, was it?
I can't remember.
I feel like it was in a dungeon, but I really can't remember which one.
Yeah, I can't remember either. If it was an Ice Palace, then that just made the seed even more awful.
You guys were basically faced with a choice between doing purple chest, walking purple chest all the way over, or doing half of Ice Palace, though. So those options, not great.
Yeah.
I don't know that you actually found it, Gus, but for the record, the Ice Palace big key was in Randover.
Oh, yeah, no, I never went back there after finding the hook shot, so I never got that.
We don't actually know what was in that chest because you both skipped that totally, but that could have been a thing at some point, depending on where that Eastern Palace big.
Pieces of heart.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. You may have skipped one or two along the way. I don't know. Actually, Gus missed a couple of heart containers somewhere, it seems, because he's got most of the pieces of heart on his screen, but he doesn't have nearly as many hearts. But yeah, that was a rough seed. GG to anybody that survived that seed. OneUp gonna move to the next round of the winners brackets. Gonna face some guy named Recedador, and
it's on.
And then Gus gonna go face either Sirlinkalot or Matt7898, depending on how that situation shakes out.
Scouting out the competition, are ya?
Oh well, you know, I was available and nobody else seemed to be, so here I am.
Well, anyone have any other thoughts? Gus, OneUp?
No, really. I guess thanks to you guys for your commentary.
It was actually all Recedador. I don't know nearly enough to do this, so.
Yeah, I was flying a little solo on this one.
Oh, okay.
So.
Well, thanks to you then.
Oh, sorry. I have to do this off my phone. Everyone go follow the runners, the commentators. That was, and obviously the trackers too. Thank you all very much. Nice job with the run, guys. That was amazing to watch. Thank you, Recedador, for doing literally all of the commentary. It's amazing how much you know.
Hey, I could talk about entrance all day, especially the weird scenes.
Fair enough. Then thank you, Siberian and Simon Moss, I believe. That's how you pronounce that. Thank you guys very much for tracking. I guess Sammy's already gone, but thank you regardless. we got plenty more of this going on. We actually have another race going on CSR1 as we speak, I believe. We have Banta versus Korek a little bit later, Ak the Bakar versus Slim Kirby. We have a bunch of stuff going on, so there is definitely no shortage of things to watch here on ZSR. And, I mean, once again, thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!